organization structure, organization culture. According to Mintzberg, there are 5 elements of structure: strategic apex, middle line, operating core, technostructure, support staff. And according to Mintzberg, based on the dominance of any of the elements, there are 6 types of organization: entrepreneurial, machine, bureaucracy, professional, ad hocracy, divisional, and missionary.
Sir, in
And,
missionary organization, who is dominant, sir?
uh, nobody is dominant
No,
because
nobody.
everybody is focusing on single goal.
Okay.
I mean, they are not using their dominance, they are not using their power, despite we are having power or not. Everybody is focusing on a single goal, the
Okay.
mission they want to achieve. So, according to cultural web, there were 7 elements of culture. What were those elements of culture? Cultural web.
Symbols,
Yes,
routine,
symbols.
routine and rituals, organization structure, power
Yes,
structure,
symbols, routines, and rituals. What
or
else?
organization
Or
structure,
organization structure. Yes.
power
Power
structure,
structure. Yes.
stories and myth.
Control system.
Oh,
Control system. Yes. Stories and myths.
and paradigmic.
And the combination of all the paradigm. So symbols, show offs, buildings, logo, dress code, jargons that employee use, mean through which culture can be shown to the outer world. Routine and rituals, the way of doing things. What are the routines of employees? How they are working? Organization structure, whether it is formal or informal, mean policies of the organization. Organization structure. Power structure, who has power in the organization and what sort of power? Control system, what is measured regarding employees and how it is measured, like their performance is measured, their hours workings are measured. Story myth.
Keeping your silent holiday test today. My friend is waiting outside. Well, yeah, yeah, so that.
And stories myth. Stories myth, the
Or
hot topics, the heroes, villains, and the paradigm, how the organization see itself, its environment, and how the organization see itself, its environment, mean how the things are going, whether the main type of culture is power culture, role culture, task culture, or people or person culture. So now we are having one question called Frigate. And there is a requirement for 15 marks. Analyze the culture of a Frigate Limited using the cultural web. In using cultural web, we need to analyze the culture of the organization. Good luck, everybody. You're having this question. You need to identify elements of culture from this data given. I make a little bit bigger. Try to identify cultural web elements.
That we already.
So there are 7 elements of culture that we need to identify from this question.
In first para,
Try to identify, we're going to discuss.
okay.
So Frigate Limited is based in the country of Aegean. It imports electrical components from other countries and distribute them throughout the domestic market. The company was formed 20 years ago by Ron Frew, who now own 80% of the shares. A further 10% of the company is owned by his wife and 5% each by his 2 daughters. In fact, the complete 100% holding is with Mr. Ron, because the holding of wife is his holding, the holding of his daughter is his holding. This means, regarding this first paragraph, it seems like power culture. Ron is having the power. Let's see. Although he has never been in Navy, Ron is obsessed by ships, sailing, and naval history. He is known to everyone the commander symbol, commander symbol show off, through which people recognize him. And this is how he expects his employees to address him. He increasingly spent time on his own boat and expensive motor cruiser. So this expensive motor cruiser is what? Again, symbol, show off, building logo, show offs, which is moved in the local harbor 20 minutes drive away. When he's not on holiday, Ron is always at work at 8 a.m. in the morning to make sure that every employee arrives on time. And he is also there at 5:30 to ensure that they do not leave early. So this is what control
Routine
system.
of-
No, control system. He is measuring employee working hours by his personal presence at the morning at the end. What is measured, how it is measured regarding employees, control system. However, he spent a large part of his working day on his boat, although he can be contacted by mobile telephone. Employees who arrive late for work have to immediately explain the circumstances to Ron. If he feels that the explanation is acceptable, then he makes an appropriate deduction from their wages. Wages, like all costs in the company, are closely monitored by Ron. So this is another example of control system. Mean employee holidays, who is monitoring Ron himself. If he feels the explanation is unacceptable, he deduct from his pay against holidays. So we got some information about symbols and control system. Employees, customers, and suppliers. Frigate currently have 25 employees, primarily undertaking sales, warehousing, accounts, and organized administration. In companies are having a separate department, and through this, it seems like formal organization having a separate department. Although employees are nominally allocated to one role, they are required to work anywhere in the company as required by Ron. Mean they are not restricted to their own departmental work. Ron can use them anywhere. So this is indication of informal organization structure. They are also expected to help Ron in his personal tasks, such as booking holidays for his families, filing his personal tax returns, and organizing social events. Mean he is using employees for his personal task as well. So this is what informal organization structure. And who has power in the organization? Ron himself. Ron himself. So we can discuss about power structure as well. Why he's having power? Because he is the main owner of the business. It's like sole trader business. It's like sole trader. He is having 80% with his name, 10% with his wife, and 5% with his daughter. This means he is having 100% ownership. As John has laws concerning minimum wage and holidays, all employees at Frigate Limited are only given the minimum holiday allocation. Mean they cannot get more holidays. So this is routines. Mean there is no flexibility regarding holidays. They need to work under strict working hours. So they have to be use this allocation not only for holidays, but also for events such as visiting the doctors, attending funerals, and dealing with domestic problems and emergencies. Ron is particularly inflexible about holidays and work hours routines. Mean employees have to work under strict working hours, while Ron himself is flexible regarding working hours. He has even turned down requests for unpaid leave. In contrast, Ron is often away from work for long periods, sailing in various parts of the world. So from here, we can get information about routines and rituals. Ron is increasingly critical of supplier, trying to sell me inferior quality goods for higher prices. So for Ron, suppliers are what? Villain. Myth. Who is a hero in the organization? Who is villain? Myth. Customers moaning about price and paying later and later. They are also villain for Ron. They are asking for low price, and while the time of paying, they are making delay. And society in general, a period working in the Navy would do everyone good. He has also been in dispute with the tax authorities, villain, who he accused of seconding his hard-earned money. An investigation by the tax authority led to him being fined for not disclosing the fact that significant family expenditure, such as a holiday for his daughter overseas, had been declared as company expenditure. This action by the tax authority has prompted Ron to appoint Anne Lee as company accountant. Anne had previously worked as an accountant in a number of public sector organizations, which had formal controls and system. She recommended to Ron that a similar formal processes be installed at Frigate Limited, but Ron resisted them within 6 months and resigned and left the company. So appointment of Anley and his resignation. This is what story, hot topic. So if we try to sum up symbols, he's a commander, his expensive ship, routines and rituals. Employee have to work under strict working hours, while Ron himself is flexible about working hours. Organization structure, though employees are having their separate departmental role, but Ron is using them wherever he is asking he want, even for his personal tasks. So informal structure. Who has power? Ron has power because he is the owner of the organization and he is managing everything by his personal strategies. Control system, employee hours worked are measured by Ron himself, by his presence at the morning, at the evening. Stories myths. Who is the hero? Ron himself. Because everybody consider him as a hero. And who are the villains? Tax authorities, customers, suppliers. And myth, the appointment of Anley and his resignation. The paradigm, what is the main culture of the organization? It is a power culture. Power culture. Because everything is running around Ron himself. He is having all the authority for making a decision. He is managing everything. So we can discuss for 15 marks. There are 7 headings. In 2 marks, 2.5 marks each, we can discuss. Before discussion, we can define each heading in one line. What is meant by symbol? What is meant by routines and rituals? So let's move forward. Yes. Business strategy.
But Sarah is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right, is crazy. In short.
Yeah. Yeah, he's crazy. But he's the boss.
Yeah.
He's the boss.
He's over it.
He is doing his business the way he wants. You cannot blame him. So business strategy, how to deal with competition. To deal with competition, we need to be involved into a process called strategic process, which involves 3 interrelated sub-processes: strategic analysis, strategic choice, and strategic implementation. Interrelated. Analysis, we need to analyze the factors affecting position of the business. Could be internal, could be external. Even this analysis will help us to identify critical success factor for the business. Key success factor for the business. What is important for success of the business? That we can identify by analyzing the industry market, by looking at the competitor, by looking at the market, looking at the customer, what they want. Then we'll be able to identify what is important for our business. Either reducing prices, either introducing something new. Could be influence.
MA plus. MA. This is no.
So if we have found our position is weaker, are going to be weaker due to some negative factors, could be internal weaknesses, could be external threats. This means we need to be involved into strategic choice, where we need to generate options. We need to see what options, what strategies we are having. We need to evaluate those options, considering their pros, cons, cost, benefit, advantages, disadvantages. And we need to select our best option, best strategy that will help to make our position stronger. How we can generate options? By looking at where to compete. Either we should attract a customer, we should deal with the competition through existing product, a new product, existing market, new market. And for that, we can generate strategies by using ANSOP product market matrix. And we can generate 6 options. We can generate options by looking at how to compete. By applying Porter generic strategies model 4 strategies, Bauman strategic clock 8 strategies, or TOS matrix 4 strategies. We can generate different options by applying any one of the model. We can generate options by looking at means and methods of business growth. Because growing business will add more customer, will increase your market share. More market share, you will be able to tackle the competition. We can grow our business through organic growth, acquisition growth, joint venture, alliances, franchising, licensing, outsourcing, all having some pros, cons. Whatever the strategies we have generated, now we need to evaluate so that we can select one. How we can evaluate and select? Applying JSW3 test on all strategies one by one. The strategy is meeting all three: suitability, acceptability, feasibility that we should select. Now, whatever the strategy we have selected, it's time to implement. Implementation means we need to make changes according to the chosen strategy. We need to perform actions according to the chosen strategy. And for that, first we need to see our functional strategy, whether they are aligned with our business strategy or not. Because to implement strategy, we need support from other functions, other department of the organization. And if they are not aligned with business, mean top management, ultimately will not be getting the support, will not be able to implement the strategy effectively. What are the functions or department that work in a business? IT, marketing,
HR, finance.
HR, human resource, and finance. Mean how they work the better way, how they work in worst way. We need to see so that they should be working in better. Then they will be aligned with business strategy and they will help the organization to implement strategies effectively. And these 4 areas we need to look at in detail. I mean, there are 4 chapters on these 4 areas. Gonna discuss later on. Implementing strategy mean we need to make changes where in organization structure, in organization culture, and in organization system or processes.
I think, so sorry to disturb you. There is one student was come here. Are you taking which subject?
SBL.
SBI. So, like, Alinazan has a session today.
No. I think he's having class
Have
on
been
there.
informed that he should come here on campus today.
Is there Reno sitting over there?
Maybe one.
Let me check the transcript. Yeah, because he's asking for MA class. We don't conduct MA class on Friday. Let me check here. MA class is every Tuesday.
Tuesday, not today.
Yeah, not today, every Tuesday.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So implementation means we need to make changes within organization structure, within organization culture, within organization system. System means processes. Before making changes, we must be aware about structure. What are the elements of structure? How many types of structure? We must be aware about the culture. What are the elements of culture? How many types of culture? So that we should be aware where we are now and where we want to change it. If our current organization structure is machine bureaucracy, and now the environment has changed, it's become complex, dynamic. So what structure we should move on? With the hawkeries. If currently we are on role culture, but our business environment has changed, it becomes a dynamic. This means now we need task culture. If we want to make changes in structure, culture, we should be aware about the elements of structure. Which element we require change? Either we need to make changes happen in middle line, operating code, techno structure, support staff, or strategic effects. Because if you're not aware about the elements of structure, you will not be able to implement changes. To make changes in culture, you must be aware about the elements of culture. Where you need change, either you want to change the control system only, either you want to change the myth of the people in the organization, either you want to change the routines and rituals, either you want to change the power structure, organization structure. So we must be aware about structure and culture, and that we got some knowledge through Mintzberg model. We got some knowledge about elements of structure and Mintzberg type of organization. We got some knowledge about different types of structure. Structure could be entrepreneurial, could be machine bureaucracy, could be professional, could be ad hocracy, could be divisional, or could be missionary. And to make changes in culture, we must be aware about the culture. What are the elements of culture? That we got some knowledge through cultural web. And how many types of culture work in organization? That we got some knowledge according to Handy model. There are 4 types of culture: power culture, role culture, task culture, people are person culture. Before making changes into system processes, we must be aware about the system processes. And that we are aware of value chain. Primary, secondary activities are what? Processes of the organization. And to show these processes, there is one diagram used that is called swim lane diagram that we will cover today. Swim lane diagram. How these system processes can be developed through starting the project, but starting project is easy. Managing project is difficult. Because if you fail in managing the project, ultimately you will not be able to drive the system process effectively. So there is another topic called project management that we need to cover. It's the biggest area, the most favorite area of our examiner. His paper is incomplete without testing this topic, project management. His paper is incomplete without testing IT. His paper is incomplete without testing finance. And his paper is incomplete without testing project management. So strategic implementation means making changes within organization structure, culture, system, processes. But before making changes, we should be aware about it. Strategic implementation means making changes within organization structure, culture, and this change is not that much easy to make happen. It's very difficult to change things. It's very difficult. If I ask you, being a full-time student, you don't need this smartphone. You only need keypad phone so that you can receive call, you can call to others. You don't need this smartphone. It's not your need. Will you accept this? No. This is change. It's not that much easy. Leaving smartphone means going back 10 years. You can live without food, but cannot live without this smartphone. You'll be dying. This is called change. In the similar way, if you want to make changes in organization, it's not that much easy because employees do not accept new things easily. They always resist. If you want to move your manual organization work towards computerized, this is called a change that you want to make happen in the organization, but this is not easy. Employee will not accept this, especially old people who haven't studied technology, who haven't used computer, who haven't touched computer. They are having computer phobia. They will not accept this change. They will resist this change. Not only themselves, they will ask others to resist this. So that's why we need to focus on management of change. And there are different models that we need to follow while making changes in the organization, mean managing change. Because if we're not following a model of change management, ultimately we'll not be able to implement changes effectively. What are different models that we need to learn? There is one model called Levin's three-stage model. There is another model called Levin's force field theory. There is another model called Logan and Hope matrix, BNH matrix. There is another model called contextual model, also called contextual factors that we need to consider while making changes. And these are all four models for changing structure and culture. They will help to manage change in structure and culture. If we want to change system processes, for that we should apply business process change model. And business process change model are of two: Harman's matrix and Popit model, POPIT, also called four view model. So how to manage change? Levin's three-stage model. Levin's three-stage model. According to Levin's, if you want to make changes in the organization, you should focus on three stages. What are three stages? Unfreeze, move, refreeze. If you are ignoring any of the stage, you will not be able to manage the change. You will fail in change. You will be destroying the position of organization. Because change is not that much easy. Change is always painful. Without pain, there is no change. You can adopt keypad phone, but there will be some pain initially. But after some time, you'll be able to adopt that. Because after adopting that, you will realize the life is too simple. There are lesser tensions. You will feel relaxed. You will not be tiring with your shoulder, with your head, with your eyes while using this smart mobile phone. The more we are using this, we are stucking our head, eyes, shoulder, everything on this mobile phone. We are destroying our body parts. The back pain is the main issue of using the smartphone because we are not using in the correct posture. We are always using it bending our neck like this. It's affecting our back. The correct way of using like this. This bone should be straight rather than this. You'll be getting old early. But we cannot change. We'll die. We can live without food, but we cannot live without the smartphone. This is the reality. So Levin says, if you want to make changes happen, to make changes effectively, implement effectively, you need to follow these three stages: unfreeze, move, refreeze. Unfreeze mean preparing employee for change. If you are going to make any changes, first prepare your employees for change. You should be having a willingness from the employee. Yes, we need a change. How we can prepare for employee for change? Through communication. We need to communicate with them. What were the issue we were facing and why we need this new system? What were the issues in manual? Why we need to move towards computerized? Because if employees are not prepared, mentally they are not accepting the change, ultimately you will not be able to implement change. Because who need to work in the change system, new system? Employees. If they are not prepared, they are not willing, they will not work properly. You will be increasing your problem rather than resolving. So unfreeze, first prepare the change, prepare the employees for change. Make the employees willing for change by explaining the problems, by highlighting the issues, or highlighting the benefit for the new system. If employees are prepared, then you can move towards change. Move mean now you can implement change. But this implementation of change should not be from yourself. Try to involve the employees in the change process. Because if they are involved in the change process, ultimately they will be able to know the importance of change. They are involved in the change, they will feel, yes, we are changing the system, then they will accept it properly. If you are not involving them in the change, they are sitting behind, you are doing everything, they will not feel their importance. Might be they will not accept the change willingly. Unwillingly, might be they will work, but not willingly. From heart, they will not able to work. And if employees are not working from heart, ultimately you cannot achieve their potential, their efficiency, effectiveness. So first we need to prepare the employee for change, unfreeze. In the old system, we need to unfreeze from their mind by highlighting the weaknesses on system, by criticizing the current system. I mean, this is bad. We are doing wrong. We are using this smartphone. This is wrong for our health. This is wrong for our future. We will die early if we are using this. We have started facing this back pain issue. Why? Because of this. Get rid of this. Then people will think, oh, yes, we should move towards change. So in a similar manner, we should criticize the current system in front of employees. Highlight the weaknesses, problems in the current system so that they must be prepared for change. They must be accepting the change. Yes, we need change. Now move towards change by involving the employee in the change process so that we can achieve their willingness. And then we need to refreeze. Refreeze means implement a new system with control measures. Implement plus control. Because this is human reality. For some time, they adopt new things, but after some time, they move back towards previous. Might be for week, 2 weeks, you will use that keypad phone. After 2 weeks, you will throw that and move back towards using smartphone again. Is that? We should move towards a walk, exercise. Sometimes we adopt this routine, but after 1, 2 weeks, forget about it. What's I'm doing? I'm too busy. I don't have time for walk and gyms. Is that? So in the similar manner, in organization, for some time, initially employee adopt those changes, but after some time, they move back towards previous system. So refreeze mean not only implement, you should implement some control measures. Monitoring measures, employee should not be moving back to the old system. Mean you need to stick the employees on change. How we can stick the employee on a new system, on change system by introducing some new reward. If you will produce this in new system, this reward you will be able to get. And for that, those rewards, employee will continue the new system. Mean now the change will be implemented effectively. Now change will provide benefit to the organization. So refreeze mean implement, control, and plus reward we need to introduce for the employees. If we are not preparing employees for change, we not unfreezing, they will not accept change. They will move towards strike action. If we are not involving the employee into the change process, they will not accept the change from heart. They will not be working willingly. They will be working unwillingly. And if they are working unwillingly, ultimately will not be able to achieve the desired results. And if you are not implementing properly with the controls or new reward system, after some time, your system will be same old. So that's why to manage the changes effectively, we should follow these three stages. How we can manage the changes? There is another model called Levin's force field analysis. This is also called universal model of change. According to Levin's, in a change process, there are two forces involved. In a change process, there are two forces involved. One is called driving force, and other is called restraining force. Driving force and restraining force. What is driving force? Force for change. Mean the people who want to make changes happen. Mean company management. That will be called driving force. What is restraining force? Force against change. The people who don't want to make changes happen, who resist the change, mean employee workers. So in a change process, always there are two forces. If you want to make changes by yourself, there will be two forces, one your mind and other is your heart. One could be driving, one could be restraining. Is that? We should study at least 6 hours on daily basis because we are full-time student. There are two forces. Mind is saying we should study, but heart, no, we should do this, we should watch movie, we should talk with friends, we should go out. So there are always two forces in change process, one driving force and one restraining force. If you want to make changes happen effectively, you need to disturb their equilibrium. If both forces are working on their strength, ultimately you will not be able to make changes happen. You need to disturb their equilibrium. How? How? By strengthening the driving force and weakening the restraining force. How we can strengthen driver force in the organization? By using our power, authority, force. If you don't accept this change, get out of this organization. There is no place for you. Strengthening driving force means using your power, your force, your authority. What is weakening restraining force? Try to take willingness from the employees so they should accept the change. Preparing the employee for change. That is weakening the restraining force. And what is best approach? Weakening the restraining force is the best approach. Strengthening the driving force is bad approach. Because if you are using your power, authority, force, ultimately the other side will also show some aggression. The things will not be in your control then. The environment will be disturbed. The best approach, always try to weaken the restraining force, mean try to prepare the employee for change. Try to seek some willingness from the employee towards change. Try to take support from the employee towards change. Because if they are mentally accepting the change, they are willingly accepting the change, then you will be able to manage change effectively. How we can weak the restraining force. There are some change management strategies that we can adopt. What are the change management strategies that we can adopt to weaken the restraining force? Education, facilitation, participation, negotiation, manipulation, and power or coercion. In how we can strengthen the driving force, how we can weaken the restraining force by adopting any of the change management strategy. Education, facilitation, participation, negotiation, manipulation, power, coercion. Suppose we want to move from manual business operations towards computerized automated. And employees are not accepting this new computerized system. First, we should convince the employee through education. Education means explaining them the reason why we need this change. If we don't move towards change, ultimately we will not be able to survive. These are the issues we are facing with the manual system. That's why the change is required. Education means provide them proper explanation. But despite education, they are not accepting the change. Try to facilitate them. Facilitate means introduce some reward for money. People can do anything. So try to facilitate them, provide them the resources. If any employee is saying, oh, no, I haven't touched the computer in my life, how I will work on computer system? I'm there, I will provide you training. Provide them training, provide them resources, provide them some extra reward, money. They will be able to accept the change. But sometimes, against money, there is a big restraining force, that is ego. Who will not accept the change, will not be able to work even. If you are providing training, even still will not be able to work. Participation, involve them in the training process. Move closer to them, give them a hug. I am with you. I'll see if there is any problem, we will face together. Involve them in the decision-making process. By involving in the decision-making process, might be they will understand the issue, they will realize, yes, change is required. But despite education, facilitation, participation, still they are not accepting change. Then negotiation. Okay. Say what you want. I want this, what you want. Negotiation. Discuss with them. What are their issues? Try to resolve them. Mean give and take. Still they are not accepting change. Then manipulation. Manipulation, okay, do not implement full change. Whatever the change they are accepting now, make happen those changes now. Remaining we can leave for future. The employees who are willing for change the system for them now. Who are not willing, keep them on the old ways of doing things. In future, we'll be able to tackle this. But this is unethical. Why unethical? Because you are not going to implement your complete change strategy that you have chosen. Because if you are changing some part of structure culture, not the full, that was required, ultimately you will not be achieving your objective. Still, if employees are not willing for change, they are not accepting even the small changes, then use power, coercion, force. Whoever want to work, okay, work. Who is not accepting change, get lost. If you want to work, you need to accept this. You need to work according to management policies. Otherwise, there is no place for you. you can leave this. But this is not the best approach. Out of these, what are the best approaches? First four. Try to convince the employee by explaining the situation. Try to provide them resources, reward. Involve them in the process. Move closer to them. Negotiation, talk with them, give and take. Because manipulation, you are not going to implement the full change. Your objective will not be achieved. And power coercion is what? Strengthening the driving force. That is a bad strategy. Because if you are showing your force, ultimately there will be aggression from the other side. And that aggression can destroy your whole organization. Because they are more in number who employ laborers. So, according to Levin's force field analysis, universal model of change, how we can manage change by strengthening the driving force or weakening the restraining force. But the best approach is weakening the restraining force. How? By adopting any of the change management strategy. Before adopting or moving towards change management strategy, we should focus on the reason for resistance. I mean, why employees are resisting change? There could be some reasons. And there could be three types of reasons. Job related factors, personal factors, or social factors. Job related factors mean computer phobia. If you want to move towards manual to computerized, so what is job related factor? Computer phobia. How we can resolve this reason? Through training facilitation. Is that reward? Or if we want to move towards from informal organization structure to formal, everybody will be following the rules. So job related factor could be now we need to work under strict working hours. We will not be able to work with other employees. Will not be having flexibility in working hours. So this could be reason. Personal factor, personal issues. They are having some ambiguity in their mind. Might be this is the criticism of our previous work. That's why organization is moving towards change. Tomorrow they can change ourselves as well. Mean they can employ new employee instead of us. They will dismiss us because they are changing the organization, not only system, they will change the people as well. This is what personal factor. Mean any ambiguity in the mind. And this can be resolved through education, through participation. Or there could be social factor. Informal, they were working in a team. They were working with their colleagues. They were able to manage their friendship, their relations with the colleague. Now informal, they need to work on their own. There'll be no much interactions that they were having previously. So these things can be resolved by through education or negotiation. Our social factor could be you are going to implement change through a villain rather than hero. That's why they are not accepting the change. Because the person who is trying to implement the change is villain in eyes of the employees. Even if he want to make changes in best interest of the organization, they will not accept this. Because in their mind, he is a bad person. So this we can resolve by implementing change through a hero other than villain. That's why we should always communicate to employee the reason behind change, the importance of change through a hero to whom they consider it's a good man. He care about us. And if a good man, caring man, hero is explaining the need for change, employee will accept it. Because whatever he is saying, they will accept it. He is saying right. So how we can manage a change? To manage change, Levin's three-stage model says we should manage, we should focus Three stages: unfreeze, move, refreeze. And Levin's four-field analysis said, while managing a change, we should weakening the restraining force against change. How? By looking at the reason for the resistance, and then by adopting any change management strategy: education, facilitation, participation, negotiation, manipulation, or power or coercion. To manage change effectively, there is another model called Blogen and Hope matrix. B&H matrix. Blogen and Hope matrix. So according to Blogen and Hope, if you want to make changes happen effectively, you need to focus on two factors. One is the scope of change, and other is time of change. Scope and time. Scope of change could be small changes or big changes. Scope of me, small change, big change. Small change, you want to change some elements of structure, culture, not the full. Big change mean you want to change all the element of structure, culture. You want to move from machine bureaucracy to adhocracy. You want to move from role culture to task culture. Big change. The small change is called realignment. While the big change is called transformation change. Scope of change, small change, realignment, or you want to move towards transformational change in big change, complete change. And you need to focus on time of change. Time of change means if you want to change organization structure, culture, step by step in long time period. You don't want to make changes happen all quickly, suddenly, no. You want to make changes step by step in long time period. The option is what? Incremental change. Step by step change. If you want to change everything quickly, that will be called big bang. Not bang bang, big bang. So according to B&H matrix, if you are going towards making changes in the organization, you need to focus on two factors. Scope of change, whether you require a realignment or transformation. In small change or big change. And you need to focus on time of change, whether you are having enough time in which you can make changes slowly, step by step, mean incremental change, or there is an emergency, you need change quickly, simultaneously. Because if you not make changes quickly, ultimately you will be out of the market. Mean you need what? Big bang. And there are four strategies. If you want realignment, mean some elements of the structure culture you want to change, and you want to change slowly, stepwise. So the strategy is called adoption. Means slowly, employee will adopt the new change and they will even not feel we have moved towards new system. Because you are making small change and step by step incremental. First one element, then after 1 month, next element, then after 1 month, next element. They will even not feel the change has happened. And this change they will adopt easily. But if you want transformational change, transformation change, but on step-by-step basis, the strategy is called evolution. Means slowly you will evolve the system. But after some time, the complete system will be changed. But slowly. If you want realignment, small change, big bang, quickly. The strategy is called reconstruction. In already the system is constructed, now you are reconstructing mean adding something new. But quickly. An employee will feel this because you are going to make changes happen quickly. And quick changes, everybody noticed. Step by step changes, nobody noticed. But quick, everybody noticed. If you want transformation change, complete system you want to change, but big bang, the strategy is called revolution. Revolutionary change. And this is a very high risky strategy. Because you are going to change everything, mean the next day when employee will enter the organization, everything is changed. They will see completely different world. So there could be resistance. And if you are unable to tackle that resistance, your whole organization will be destroyed.
That is very wrong.
That's why this is a high risky strategy. If you want transformation change, always prefer evolution. Make changes happen step by step. For revolution, you need to prepare employees for change first. You need to start communicating with them. We are going to change this. We are going to change this. This is the reason. That's why we are going to change. Mean they should be prepared for change. Then the next day, if they see the new system, they will adopt it. They will adjust with that. But if they are not prepared for change, they are not willing for change, and the next day they are having completely something different, they will resist. And that resistance can destroy your whole organization. That's why revolution is always high risky. If you need transformation change, always prefer evolution rather than revolution. So according to B&H Matrix, if you are going to make changes happen in the organization, how you should manage those changes, you need to focus on two factors: scope of change and time of change. And according to scope, time, you need to adopt one of the strategy. If you need realignment, try to prefer adoption. Employee will adopt new things, even they will not bother, they will not feel. Because reconstruction having some impact because you are quickly changing. But if you want transformation change, always prefer evolution rather than revolution because revolution is very high risky strategy. So strategic implementation means making changes in organization structure, culture, system, processes. But those changes are not easy to implement. We should adopt one of the model for managing change. Because if you are not adopting any of the model for managing change, ultimately will be failed in change. And if we are failing change, ultimately will not be able to manage our business properly. How we can manage changes? According to Levens force field theory, we should focus on three stages. First, we should unfreeze, prepare the employee willing for change. Then move, involve the employees in change process. Then refreeze, implement change, plus control, reward, measure so that employee should stick on change. They should continue on the new system for long. They should not be moving back towards old system. According to Levens force field theory, if you want to make changes happen effectively, try to weaker the restraining force against change by looking at the reason for the resistance and adopting change management strategy. According to Blogen and Hope matrix, if you are going towards change, you should focus on two factors: what you want, realignment or transformation. whether you want to make changes happen quickly, big bang, or in long time period, incremental. And by looking at these two factors, you should adopt one of the change strategy. In realignment, there are two strategies: adoption, reconstruction. What's the best? Adoption. If you are moving towards reconstruction, first prepare the employees for change. Otherwise, you'll not be able to tackle the resistance. If you want transformational change, always prefer evolution rather than revolution, because revolution is a high risk strategy. There are so many organizations who failed in transformational change because they adopted revolution rather than revolution. If you want to make changes happen, there is some contextual factors that you need to focus. Contextual model. Contextual model, also called contextual factors. Who defined these contextual factors or contextual model? There are two writers, Logan and Hogue, as well as JSW. They said if you are going to make changes happen in the organization, you should focus on 8 contextual factors. What are those contextual factors? You should focus on time. JSW also says you should focus on time. BNH said you should focus on scope. JSW also says you should focus on scope. BNH said you should focus on preservation. While JSW said you should focus on history. BNH said you should focus on diversity. Diversity is history, while preservation is continuity. BNH said you should focus on skills, capability, capacity, mean resources, readiness, while JSW said readiness of staff, power, while JSW said stakeholder. In our syllabus, this is we need to learn. But by using the heading of JSW, we'll be able to understand this more easily. So if you are moving towards changing culture of the organization only, changing culture of the organization, you should focus on these contextual factors. In other 3 models are for changes structure, culture, both. These are for changing structure, culture, both. Contextual model is only for changes culture of the organization, for structure. So if you want to change culture of the organization, you should focus on 8 contextual factor. Context mean environment. You should focus on time. What is meant by time? Either you need to make changes in quick time, quickly, big bang, or in a long time period, mean incremental. The same of BNH matrix. You need to focus on scope, mean whether you want small changes, realignment, or you want big changes mean transformation. You need to focus on preservation. Preservation means how we can continue the change, how we can make the employee stick on the change. And for that, we should introduce some kind of rewards, monitoring, supervision, so that they must not be going back towards previous system. We should focus on diversity. What is mean by diversity? There should be diversity in the organization. Mean there should be different qualification, different nature, different gender people in the organization, especially at management level. Because if people are of different skills, different qualification, different gender, the management will be able to identify factors from different perspectives. If there are one skill people, ultimately they'll not be able to identify different innovative strategies. In management level, there should be IT people, there should be engineering people, there should be finance knowledge people, there should be marketing people. Then management will be able to adopt strategies properly by using all the skills. So while making changes, you need to focus on diversity. Mean the change management people should be having different skills, different nature, different gender, different qualification, so that you can incorporate factors relating to change from all perspectives. Then you will be able to adopt appropriate strategy. JSW says you should look at the history. History mean what, when you last time made the changes, what were the problem you faced? Those problem you should focus on now while making changes. Why there should be diversity? So that you can focus on all the problems relating to making changes. You'll be able to tackle the problem in best way by using different skill people. You should focus on capability. Capability means skills. The people who need to work in the new system after the change, whether they are trained, competent or not. Because if you don't have skills, if you don't have trained the people, they will not be able to work in the new system properly. So new system will not be implemented effectively. So that's why you should focus on capability means skills of the employee who will work in the new system, in the change system. You should focus on capacity mean resources, especially the financial resources. Changes without financial resources, you cannot implement. If you don't have finance, don't have money, ultimately the change process will stuck. And if you're stuck, you will destroy your organization. Because you have decided to move towards something new, but you are not able to implement on time, you'll be out of the market. So before changes, you should focus on capacity, resources, whether we are having or not, human resources as well as financial. Before making changes, we should focus on readiness. Readiness of staff mean whether employees are willing, prepared for change or not. If they are not willing, they are not prepared for change, they will not accept the change. The change process will be flop. And before making changes, we should make sure whether we are having the support for these new changes from the stakeholder or not. Not only internal, external stakeholder as well, your customer, your shareholder, the government, your banker, your supplier. Because you will be in powerful position when you're having support of stakeholder. If you're having no support of your stakeholder, you will not be in power to manage things. So while making changes, according to contractual factor, what we need to consider: time, quick or long time period, scope, small or big change, preservation, mean how to preserve, how to continue the change for a long time period, monitoring arrangement, reward system, diversity. To tackle all problems relating to change, we must be having different skilled people so that we can identify issues from different perspectives. Capability, we need to focus on skills the employee must have to work effectively in the new system. We should focus on capacity, mean resources, especially financial resources. We should focus on readiness of staff, whether they are prepared, willing for change or not. If they are not willing, first we should prepare them for change. And then we should focus on power in support of stakeholder. Whether we are in power. If we are in power, we can influence anybody. If we are not in power, this means we need support from others. We should focus on willingness of stakeholders, not only employee, stakeholder as well, shareholder, government, local community, supplier, everybody. We need break. Okay, take 15 minutes break. After break, we'll discuss a good question on this contextual factor.
não esqueço uma vez ali. Ele mesmo, eu vejo, eu deixar a vez para sabe assim, todos, não dá muito ideia, como assim, na dobra já. Olha, uma hora que eu acho que eu vou dar. To, da bashi a guda da mutu go sai na ƙara kiran ka. Amma sai idan malamin su ya dawo aiki zan kira ka bayan ƙarfe bayan wajen minti 30 ba komai. Ina makaranta ba zan maka ba. Da shan a lokaci ɗaya zan iya shanyewa ne ko kuma na sha ruwan shafi da shan shi ne da to da Allah a taimaka min. Nan da minti 10 kawai sai na sha ko? To, Allah ya ba mu sa'a na gode. Kun ka ce ka yi wannan aikin akan cikin yau. Jiya ba kai so su ka kai. Shi ne nake mamakin ciwon cikin kuma yanzu ya dawo. Wow. Har shi yasa nake so a kan yana Allah ya sayar da ciwon saboda na samu da su. Idan wani zo ka koma sai mai Allah ya tabbatar Allah ya sa cikin da ya tsari. Ko ma da kai ba yanzu nan da kuke gidan sai da ta mu zama ko. Na gode sosai Allah ba mu sa'a da ta kai nuna mun gobe sosai kan cikin yau. To, na gode sosai ma idan da kuke goma sa shi na gode. Yanzu yana gode.
Starting playing, you are fighting.
Ana yabo na gani ita ne akwai wani danta ta estate a kan sana'ar na ƙallon. Kina da connection da su.
Yes.
Kuna da mun a gurin fajin sarkin lalata.
Is there anyone inside the room? Oh, thank God.
They are trying. How can that be someone who are fasting that's a day? I fasting we can have fruits and water. So provide employee. So early morning to until the moon comes up. This is like now, right? It's too much. So you have well if you drink and eat fruits and yogurts. That's it. No salt, no meat, no grains, no onion, no garlic. So now after that, it's go and eat food. Eat it. No, no, 9 months, only one full moon day. Full moon day. So what is that? Finish the program. I know, actually, it's linked down. So more have. It's banana. I ate banana, but I haven't Hello.
So contextual factors we have covered. Time, scope, how we can preserve change for a long time period, how we can tackle different problems in change while having diversity in change management, whether we are having skills in employee for working in new system, whether we are having the financial resources, whether staff is ready or not, whether we are having support from the stakeholders. Let's move towards our question. Question we have already covered before. SBL. We covered one question with the Shoal PLC, I think so, in previous class. Is that? Shoal PLC, Shoal PLC, where is that question? Yeah. Did that question disappear? Mr. Question, where are you? I can't see you. I don't know what's going on. Let's try here. I think I need to close this. Yes. So Shoal PLC. The company were having three different business units: Shoal Fish, Shoal Pro, Shoal Farm. We covered part A, where according to BCG matrix, we found who is what: dog, problem child, cash cow. We covered part C as well. Part C as well, rationale for adding values. So let's move towards part B. And the scenario, if we see at the scenario, the first part we have covered till this, and there was some information relating to Captain Haddock restaurant chain that company is going to acquire. Okay, so part B of the question. And before part B, there is one small paragraph. Shoal PLC explicitly recognizes that there is no one right way to manage a change. According to Levin's force field theory, according to Levin's three-stage model, BNH matrix, contextual factors, I mean, there are so many approaches for managing change. There is no one right way to manage change. It believes that the success of any planned change program will depend upon a clear understanding of the context within which change will take place. I mean, while making changes happen effectively, we should understand the context, the environment in which we are going to make change. Part B1 for 13 good marks, there are 2 additional professional marks. Identify and analyze using an appropriate model contextual factors that will influence how strategic change should be managed at Captain Haddock. The Captain Haddock restaurant chain that company is going to acquire, you need to discuss contextual factor relating to that Captain Haddock restaurant chain. Because after acquisition, ultimately you need to change things. Professional marks will be awarded in part B for the identification and justification of an appropriate model. If you are applying any model, discussing factors according to any model, there will be 2 extra marks. If you know about contextual model, contextual factors or BNH, and you are discussing all those 8 headings, 2 marks for just in the name of those headings. These are professional marks. We are not discussing generally. We are discussing according to our model. So let's move toward discussing contextual factors. The Captain Haddock chain of restaurant was founded nearly 20 years ago by John Dory. It currently operates 130 restaurants in the country, serving high quality fish meals. Much of Captain Haddock's success has been built on the quality of its food and service. Captain Haddock has tradition of recruiting staff directly from schools and universities and providing them with excellent training in the Captain Haddock Academy. They don't appoint people from other organizations because every organization is having different culture. And if they appoint any of the people from other organization and that organization having a bad corrupt culture, so that culture could prevail in our organization. That's why they always appoint fresh people, fresh qualified people, so that they must be aware about the culture of this organization. They can adopt this easily. The people coming from other culture, they find some difficulty to adopt the culture easily or quickly because they have adjusted their mind with that culture. It will be difficult for adopting the new culture. So the new, fresh qualified people, they will understand the culture very first time of this organization and they will adopt easily. So that's why they are appointing fresh qualified people and they are having an academy where they provide training to the people. So training, what were 8 headings? Time, scope, preservation, diversity, capability, skills. After the change, if they need any skills, they are having academy through which they can develop those skills that is required after the change. Let's discuss, let's see. The academy ensures that employees are aware of the Captain Haddock way and is dedicated to continuation of the quality service and practices developed by John Dory when he launched the first restaurant.
Mhm.
All management posts are filled by recruiting from within the company. And all members of the Captain Haddock board originally joined the company as trainees. Mean they don't appoint people from their organization, not only at lower level, even at top level. They promote people within the organization to top level. So that everybody should be aware about this culture. Everybody should belong to this culture. The Prime Minister of the country identified the Captain Haddock Academy as an example of a high quality in service training. In 20x0, Captain Haddock became one of the 30 best regarded brands in the country. In the past few years, the financial performance of Captain Haddock has declined significantly. See figure 2. Is there any figure 2? Yes. If we see the turnover decreasing, if we see the gross profit, it converted into gross loss. And companies are unable to manage its fixed cost. Companies are unable to manage its fixed cost. That's why its gross profit has declined. Because variable cost relating to sales. This means this gross profit has declined. This means they are unable to manage their fixed cost. Okay. So financial performance of Captain Haddock has declined significantly, and the company has had difficulty in meeting its bank covenants. Covenants? Condition attached to the loan. Condition attached to the loan might be they are not paying on time installments. This decline is partially due to economic recession. That's why sale has dropped down in the country, and partially due to disastrous diversification into commercial real estate and currency dealing. Unrelated diversification. They invested money where? In real estate business and currency dealing, while they are running what? Restaurant. And this information we used in Shoal Farm. They are having extra land that can be used for creating more farms to resolve issue of Shoal Farm of economies of scale. The chairman and managing director of the company both resigned 9 months ago as a result of concern over the breaking of bank covenants and shareholder criticism of the diversification policy. Why you invested money into currency and real estate? And why you are not meeting the bank covenants? Why you move towards a bank loan if you are not able to meet the covenants? So they both resigned. I mean, there is no management for this. It had a customer chain. Some of the real estate bought during this period is still owned by the company that we can use in Shoal Farm for creating more farm to achieve economies of scale. In the last 9 months, the company has been run by an entire management team while looking for prospective buyers. At restaurant level, employee performance still remain relatively good, and public still highly rate the brand. I mean, customers and employees are still with the company. If there is any change required, that is required quickly or after a long time period. Quickly, because if you not make change quick, ultimately you will be losing the customer and employees. Means situation is not that much worse now. It's not that much worse now. That's why quick change is required. Big bang is required. Time. However, at a restaurant, at a recent meeting, one of the employee representative, mean trade union leader, called for a management that can effectively lead employees who are increasingly demoralized by the decline of the company. Mean they want somebody should come and manage the things. Mean employee are ready for change. They are ready for change. Readiness. Shoal PLC is currently finalizing their takeover of the Captain Haddock business. The company is being bought for a notional $1. They are going to buy this Captain Haddock 130 restaurant chain in $1. If you are having opportunity, 130 restaurant company, you can buy in $1, will you buy?
Yep.
Yes. And they are having liabilities of 500 billion. On the understanding that 15 million is invested into the company to meet short-term cash flow problem and improve liquidity. In fact, your investment will be 15 million. But to buy business, you need to provide some consideration. So what is consideration from your side? $1. After buying, you need to invest 15 million to resolve their bank loan. Because after buying, those loan will be transferred to your head. So ultimately investment is 15 million. Yeah, that's right. After buying, ultimately who will be liable to pay their debt? You. Because now you are running. Anybody will move towards jail. Who will move towards jail if company is not paying money? Representative. So Shoal PLC's assessment is that there is nothing fundamental wrong with the company. And that the current financial situation is caused by the failed diversification policy and the cost of financing this. The gross profit margin in sector average at 10% means still there is potential in the industry. There is nothing fundamental wrong in everything is fine. The poor performance is just due to financial resource that they are going to bring. So what change you require? Realignment or transformation? Small change or big change? Realignment, small change, nothing fundamentally wrong. Everything is smooth. Employees still with the company, customers still with the company. Still there is good brand image in the industry. In industry, there is still potential. So what you need? Just to provide some financial resources. By providing some financial resources, everything will be on track. Is that? So time, quick change. Scope, realignment is required. Is that? Staff is ready for change. Skills is there. Capability is there. If they require, they are having academy for training. Resources, capacity, yes, they need what? Only financial resources, no human, no physical, everything is within the company. Is that? Now we need to discuss about continuity, mean preservation. We need to discuss about the diversity and power. Okay. Captain Haddock currently buys its fish and fish products from wholesaler. It's the intention of Shoal PLC to look at sourcing most of dishes and ingredients from its own company, specifically Shoal Fish, Shoal Pro, Shoal Farm. And this line will link with Part A. After acquiring Captain Haddock, more supplies will move towards Captain Haddock. This will contribute towards more sale for Shoal Fish, Shoal Pro, Shoal Farm. They'll be able to survive. And once the takeover is complete, and this should be within the next month, Shoal PLC intend to implement significant strategic change at Captain Haddock so that it can return to profitability as soon as possible. Shoal PLC has implemented strategic change at a number of its acquisition. In the past, they have successfully managed to change some of the acquired business. They are having the experience, they are having the diversity, skills, how to tackle problems of change. Because they are having experience, they successfully implemented so many changes in the past. This means they are having skills, they are having knowledge how to manage changes, mean diversity they are having. The company explicitly recognized that there is no one right way to manage a change. It believes that the success of planned change program depends upon an understanding of the context in which a change will take place. So time we can discuss, quick change is required. Scope we can discuss, realignment change is required. According to B&H matrix, what is required? Quick change, big bang, And realignment, what strategy they should adopt? Reconstruction. After discussing the time and scope, we can draw that matrix of Logan and Hope. This was what adoption, this was what reconstruction, this was what evaluation, evolution, this was what revolution. So in Shoal PLC, what is required? Reconstruction is required. And by writing down this line along with these boxes, examiner will be happy, will be able to put a smile on his face.
So how can we write this box? Related.
After discussing first two heading, time and scope, just draw this table and write down one line as per BNH matrix. Reconstruction is required in short, Captain Haddock.
Yeah, she do. Because one process should have such an instructions. Maybe we can just
In Word document, you cannot draw these boxes, you cannot draw table.
draw in normal words, but the examiners words.
In that Word where you are writing, you cannot draw table over there. I think you can draw table. There is a tool for drawing tables, inserting tables.
They provide a box for help. Maybe not.
I'll simply discuss as per BNH matrix, as per BNH matrix, as per BNH matrix, realignment with the Big Bang, reconstruction strategy, Shoal PLC should adopt. Is that? Show the examiner, I have learned so many models, I have knowledge. I'm not sitting here without having knowledge. I have studied properly. I know different models, not only contextual factors, I know about the other models as well. This will force the examiner to mark in good manners. He will be having in mind, oh, this is a good student, this is a serious student, knowledgeable student. I cannot cut marks easily. I need to provide more marks. So time, scope, preservation. Is there any information about preservation continuity? Don't discuss even, leave it. We can skip. It's not necessary, we should apply all the headings. Diversity, yes, we can discuss. Shoal PLC is having experience of implementing successful change in the past. So they are having skills to tackle all the problems relating to change. Why diversity is required? To tackle all the problems from different angles. And then capability. Employee are still with the Captain Haddock restaurant chain. If they need, they are having academy through which they can require the necessary trained skills. Capacity, resources, all the resources are with the business. Only financial resource is required that Shoal PLC is bringing in. Readiness, yes, staff are ready because staff representative, union representative is saying they need somebody who could manage this business effectively. So they are ready for change, especially at management level. And then power, customers are still with the organization, employee are still with the organization, mean they are having support of all the stakeholder. So this means they can make a change happen effectively. Can we discuss these 7 heading out of 8? Even if you see the marks are not 16, the marks are 13. The marks are 13. In 7 heading, if we discuss for 2 marks, we'll be able to get 13 marks. And requirement B2, the most difficult requirement, according to me, while sitting in the exam center. Once the acquisition is complete, Shoal PLC wish to quickly turn around Captain Haddock and return it to profitability. Identify and analyze the main element of strategic change required to achieve this goal. Identify and analyze the main element of strategic change required to achieve this goal? What are the main elements of strategic change that they should focus on managing change effectively? What are the main elements of change? In what they want to return these to profitability. And this is general requirement. How we can turn loss-making business to profitability. How we can turn. Focusing on cost cutting, achieving more economies of scale. What else? How they can turn loss-making business to profitability. They are having 130 different restaurants. There could be some restaurant in areas where they are not generating enough profit. For the time being, what they need to do, they should shut down loss-making units. Because what those they are doing, they are eating the profit of other profit-making business units. So what they need to do for the time being, they need to shut down some of the loss-making units where they are not having enough customer, they are not generating enough revenue. What else we can discuss? What else we can discuss? Cost cutting, economies of scale, shutdown, introducing of new products, new dishes, introduction of new dishes, so that they will be able to attract the customer by providing them something new. Not only attracting, they will be able to retain the existing customer. What else? Different marketing strategies they need to adopt now. Now they are sourcing material internally. Before they were buying from outside. Now they are sourcing supplies internally, so they will be able to cut prices as well. Cutting prices will attract more customer. By having more unit demand, they'll be able to move towards profitability. This is general requirement. To tackle this kind of requirement, we need the sixth sense that doesn't work in the exam. That is common sense. Even other five main senses doesn't work properly in the exam center. Especially when we are sitting in the exam center without having enough sleep at before exam, or we are sitting in the exam without having enough of food. Preparation also. Preparation is another thing. They sleep before exam night, and your diet before moving towards exam is very important. Your senses will work if you have completed your sleep exam night and if you are moving towards exam with some food in your tummy. If your tummy is empty, ultimately your senses will not work properly. You will not be able to understand the requirement because you are out of senses. Is that?
You're thinking about that because I saw a meeting, they said fasting can make your mind to be clear, but how can hunger make your mind to be clear?
Fasting up to certain level. Have you seen the people in last 2 hours of fasting? How they are behaving?
I never did.
They are out of senses.
Only for-
In Muslim countries, most of the accident happen during fasting days in last 2 hours of the fasting.
Oh, that's
Because they are out of senses due to hunger. Up to certain level, they can manage fast. But after that, they are not in their senses. So only knowledge, only preparation is not enough to pass the paper. There are some other factors that also affect your performance in the exam: diet and enough sleep. If these things are proper, then you'll be able to understand the requirement. Your sixth sense will work. If sleep is not enough, diet is not enough, even the other five senses will not work properly. So let's move forward. Let's move forward. Here we were. We were here something. Is that? Or here? Here we were. We're here. This is not the page. We're here. Yes. So strategic implementation. Strategic implementation. We need to make change in organization structure, culture, system, processes. But before making change, we should be aware about the structure, elements, types, culture, elements, types, system, processes. What are system processes? Primary, secondary activities of value chain. To show this system process, organization use a diagram called swim lane diagram. Because through that diagram, they can understand the system properly. They can highlight the issues in the system properly. And if they have highlighted the issues in the system properly, ultimately they can adopt strategies to overcome those issues. If you are not aware about the issues, because you are unable to understand the system, you will not be able to adopt strategies to overcome those system weaknesses, process weaknesses. So let's discuss about this swim lane diagram. Swim lane diagram is a diagram that shows the process of data or product into different departments. Suppose business is having a department, meaning swim lane diagram, this kind of different lanes are used in which the data flow is shown. Suppose we are having one lane of customer, one lane of sales and marketing department, one lane of production department, and one lane of delivery department. These are the different departments and how the flow of data will be shown. Suppose customer placing order and that order is moving towards sales and marketing department. After receiving order, they are confirming the customer, yes, your order is accepted. And not only informing the customer, they are providing information to production department. Please produce this product for this customer that we have received order. After production, what they will do, they will deliver that product to the delivery department. And delivery department, what they will do, they will deliver to the customer. This is how data is flowing between different lanes. What our examiner is required? He will provide this kind of swim lane diagram in the exam paper. Not only this diagram, he will explain things in English as well, how the things are moving, I mean, what's going on in this diagram. What we need to do, we need to highlight the weaknesses in the system, and we need to provide the recommendation how those weaknesses can be overcome. While highlighting weaknesses, we need to focus on time, delays in the process. If there is any delay, that is weakness. How we can overcome, we need to provide recommendation. We need to focus on cost issues. If company is bearing double cost, extra cost, how we can overcome, we need to provide recommendation. We need to focus on quality of the processes. If it is going to be affected due to poor employees, untrained employees, due to lack of employees, lack of resources, that we need to provide in recommendation. I mean, we need to practice 2 questions so that we'll be able to highlight weaknesses and provide recommendation. The third question, if appear in exam, we'll be able to tackle that. We need to just adopt an approach. If we are having any information, how we can highlight issues and how we can provide recommendation. So let's move towards a question. We covered one question. I think so. The first question we covered on what the SWOT analysis, green tech. If we move back towards green tech question. Green tech. Yes. Part A and part B of this question we have covered so far. So green tech was a company who are producing low voltage, low volume, low emission, quite recyclable component in electronic industry. They were selling components to two medium-sized computer manufacturers. They captured 70% of the global electronic industry. They doesn't have manufacturing capability, but they're having some hardware testing facility and technical know-how relating to the components. And the management team is still with the company from their birth. The company was having 64 million revenue. Against this, they were generating 10% profit, and their revenue was in growth. Company is having luckily 70 million cash surplus. They are unable to decide where we should invest this, and their marketing budget was too low. And then they got a chance to participate in one of the television program called Company Doctor. And they got this opportunity. We will explain we are having 70 million cash surplus, and the teams will give us the direction where we should invest. And there were three teams in the program that provided their direction. First team said company should invest in fully assembled computers from where they are generating lowest part of revenue. Second suggests no, you should acquire the supplier so that the supplies you are getting from supplier, you will be able to manufacture by yourself. And third team said no, you should not produce more products. You should sell your formula, your technology into different markets. According to ends of matrix, the first team said you should focus on market penetration, existing market, existing product. The second team suggests product development, the product that you are buying from supplier that you should develop by yourself. And third team suggests market development, you should sell the same product, same formula into different markets. And they chosen this. Is that? Till this, we covered the question. This tackling operational problem part is still left. Part A, we covered SWOT analysis. Part B, we evaluated all the three options and justified why the third option is selected. Part C of the question. Part 10 marks. Identify deficiencies in the current internet-based process for ordering and configuring fully assembled green computers. They are having one process, system for ordering and configuring computers. You need to identify deficiencies, weaknesses in that system. Recommend a new process together with its implication for remedying these deficiencies, and you need to provide recommendation. And while providing recommendation, you need to explain why this deficiency is bad for the business. What will be the consequences of this weakness? Part 10 good marks. This means 5 deficiencies we need to identify. In 5 recommendations we need to provide. 10 good marks. That's it. And they have provided a swim lane diagram. So what we need to do, there is some explanation in English as well. But first we need to see the diagram, try to understand a little bit what's going on. Try to identify the lanes. So this company is having customer lane. Sales green tag could be sales department. Axis. What is this axis? We don't know. EquiCheck. We don't know. EIM. We don't know. Because there was no information regarding Axis, EquiCheck, and EIM in previous part of the question that we have covered part A and B. So see what's going on, what's happening. Customer specify requirement that is moving towards sales department of Green Tech. They request a delivery date that is moving towards Axis. Axis provided delivery date that is moving back to sales department. Email delivery date and cost detail that is moving back to customer, and then customer place order. This means customer asking about the product that they require. That information is moving towards sales. They are sending this information to Axis, whether we can produce this and when we can deliver. Could be production department. And they send detail to Green Tech sales department. And then they provide information to customer. This will be the price, this will be the cost, and this will be the delivery date. And then customer place order. And after placing order, what's happening? Enter payment detail. Meanwhile, placing order, customer need to enter payment detail. Could be debit, credit card detail. And after entering payment detail, the information is going towards EquiCheck. What EquiCheck is doing? Perform credit check. And reject process is terminated. Mean if credit check rejected, process is terminated. If credit check accepted, then payment confirm notification to the customer. On the other hand, order details, customer is entering, considering order. And then if he don't consider order as per the delivery date and price, the process is terminated. And then there is something else, place confirmation, something going on, we don't know. We understand a little bit. There are different lanes of customer, sales department, Axis, EquiCheck, EIM. And what's going on? We got some idea, not full, some. Let's read the English. Tackling operational problems. 5 issues we need to identify. 5 issues. Please be careful. 4, you have attempted for 8 marks. 3, you have attempted for 6 marks. And if you have attempted for 6 marks, to pass this requirement, you need 5 marks. And we are not that lucky enough. After attempting for 6 marks, we will be able to get 5 marks? No. If we are attempting for 6 marks, we can expect half, 3. Especially in theory. In numeric, you can expect full marks, but in theory, always expect half mark. And to get 5 marks, we must attempt for 10 marks. So in parallel, Green Tech has decided to make tactical changes to current process where the company has received poor customer feedback. One of these is the ordering of fully assembled green computers. The current internet-based process for ordering and configuring these computers is described below. A swim lane diagram flow chart showing the process is also included as figure 4. Online customer use the Green Tech website to enter the specific computer configuration they require. Through website, they are putting their specification, this specification computer we require. These details are fed through to the sales department. Oh yes, these details are going to where? sales department here. Come on. Don't irritate. So these details are going towards sales department. What's happening then? These details are fed through to the sales department at GreenTech within which then emails Axis. Axis mean the details, then they are emailing to Axis. Okay. GreenTech's Korean manufacturer. In Axis is their Korean manufacturer. They have outsourced their manufacturing production. To ask for a delivery date for the requested computer. Axis email the date back to GreenTech, which then emails the customer with the delivery and cost detail. What's going on? Customer sending information through website that is moving towards sales department. They email those details to Axis. Axis email those details to sales department. Sales department email to customer. Okay, this will be the delivery date. This will be the price. Email, email, email. And until the time you reply to the customer, might be he has ordered to somebody else. There is delay in responding to customer query. And due to this delay, ultimately you will be losing the inquiry, you will be losing the customer. Because he's not bothering for you, he's not waiting for you. There are so many online options available. What's the issue? Your system is not integrated with the supplier system. That's why you are playing email, email, email. Your system should be integrated with the supplier system. As customer have just entered the detail, that should be moved towards supplier quickly through the system. Supplier provide the detail, mean reply, and that reply should move quickly to the customer on time, rather than sending email, email, email. If he's not checking email on time, if your sales department is not checking email on time, customer, if he's not a working customer, whether he check emails on regular basis, no, he check only WhatsApp. Is that? When you last time check your emails? Today. Every day you are checking your emails? Find out. When you check your last time emails? Today, every day you are checking. But working people normally check email on regular basis. If any person is not working, they don't check email on regular basis. Even some people don't have email account. Is that?
So when did you check your email?
I am having a notification. I'm still having 3 emails that I need to check after this class. Because currently I'm working in 3 different 5 different organizations. And how they are communicating? Email, email, email. I received about more than 50 emails in a day. Some I ignored, but ultimately if I'm ignoring now, they will be coming as a trouble next time. So first issue, the system is not integrated. GreenTech system is not integrated with supplier system. That's why company is responding to the customer in delay. So this is the cause the company could lose some of the inquiries. So what will be the recommendation? Company website should be integrated with the supplier system so that supplier can provide on-time information and that should be delivered to the customer immediately. One issue we have identified, integration. Okay, let's see what's going on then. Axis email the date back to GreenTech, which then emails the customer with delivery and cost details. The customer then decide whether they wish to proceed with their order. Currently, 40% of inquiries processed no further. In 40% inquiries, you are losing. Why? Because you are delaying to respond to customer query, which is of concern to Green Tech as it means that time and efforts have been wasted. For those inquiries that do proceed, customer are invited to enter their payment details. Credit card only. You are not allowing payment through debit card. Some people like me don't consider credit card is a good thing. They can destroy your whole life.
Credit card?
Yeah. They can destroy your whole life. This is a big scam because the time you start using the credit card, you become habitual to use it. And you are putting more and more debt burden on you. You don't have money, credit card is there. You are spending unnecessary. Ultimately, at the end of the month, you need to make payment back. If you don't have money, they will charge interest. And on credit card, high interest as compared to loan. If on loan interest rate is 2 to 5%, on credit card, it could be 30 to 40%. So only credit card is another issue. Mean the person who don't have credit card, you are neglecting those sales. You are rejecting those sales. This could affect your customer inquiries. The next time customer will not bother to move towards your website because there is no debit card facility. You accept only credit. The company should provide the facility to customer, debit card as well as cash on delivery. Cash on delivery. So these details are sent directly to EquiCheck. There is one more issue. Okay, these details are sent directly to EquiCheck, a specialist credit checking agency. Oh yes, who is EquiCheck? Credit checking agency. Mean after customer enter the payment detail, these details are moving towards EquiCheck, who is checking what? Credit control, mean credit worthiness of the customer. A specialist credit checking agency, about 20% of the orders are rejected at this point because the potential customer has a poor credit rating. What's happened now? The process behind this checking the delivery, checking the availability of the product, asking the price, that all process lost there. That process not only having time, having cost as well, because you have appointed people for that process to whom you are paying. What's the issue? You are taking payment detail too late. At the very first point, when customer is entering their specification, you should ask the customer to enter their payment detail as well. Along with checking the delivery of the product, you need to perform the credit check as well. The customer who is passing credit check, to whom you should reply, provide the delivery date, provide the price so that they can place order, and this means this is confirmed customer. So payment detail you are obtaining too late. Where payment detail should be obtained? At the very first point. When customer is entering specification, you should ask the customer for payment detail as well, because both delivery as well as availability of product as well as credit check should be performed simultaneously. Is that three issues? For order that pass the credit check, a payment confirmation is raised by Green Tech and sent to customer, and Green Tech placed a confirmed order with Axis for the computer. And then what they are doing against me, payment confirmation, they are placing confirm order, and they are placing order to Axis in construct the computer. And what Axis is doing after constructing the computer, they are delivering computers through EIM. EIM could be a delivery company. Let's see. When Axis has completed the construction of the computer, it arranges for international logistic company, logistic mean delivery, EIM to deliver the machine to Green Tech for testing. Mean supplier sending product to Green Tech for testing instead of sending directly to the customer. After acceptance testing the machine, Green Tech emails the customer, agree a delivery date. Why you are agreeing now? That you have agreed already before. Why now you are agreeing? This means there could be delay in delivery. That's why you are agreeing again. And arrange for delivery by courier. What's this going on? Manufacturer delivering product to Green Tech. They are testing. If the system fail the test, what you will do? You will send back to Axis. They will provide you then new computer, or after repair of this computer, they will provide you again. Then you will test again. If test pass, you will then deliver to the delivery company. They will deliver to the customer. Instead of this, you should be having a contract with the Axis. Before delivery, they should test the computer. And they should directly deliver to the customer on behalf of us. Through this, the time between delivery will be saved, as well as the testing cost that we are performing through our staff, that could be saved. If they have delivered wrong computer, they will be liable to pay damages. This kind of contractual arrangement should be made with the manufacturer Axis. And after manufacture, before delivery, they will test. If it is okay, they should directly deliver to whom? On behalf of us. So this delivery plus testing, this is another issue that we can provide accommodation. Is that delay, time, cost, both will be able to save. Okay, what happening now? There is some part left of this question, I think so. Let me check. Yes, there is some part. Come on. You move up, no, you move down. Yes. Recent feedback from customers suggests that missing promised delivery date is their biggest complaint. Oh my God, they are not delivering on the promised delivery date. That's why they are asking again to customer the delivery date. This is because the delivery date arranged early in the order process cannot necessarily be matched by Axis. But who is the rascal behind this? Axis manufacturer. He is not delivering on time. And who is suffering? We. If we promise our delivery date with the customer, and if we fail to deliver on that date, there could be chances customer losing something, he can charge for damages. We will be facing contractual obligations. Because of whom? Manufacturer. When it actually received the confirm, so this is another issue. Delay in delivery. We are not delivering as per the promised date. This could result into contractual obligations towards customer. That could create serious issues for us. Even it could damage our reputation towards customer. We'll be losing customer due to that. The main reason behind it, manufacturer who is not delivering on time. So recommendation, We should sign a contract with the supplier. In case of late delivery, he will be liable to pay our damages. So that if customer charging us, we can recover from him to avoid this issue. So 5 issues we need to identify. First issue was system is not integrated with supplier. We are creating some delays in responding to customer queries. That's why 40% of the inquiries we are losing. So our system website should be integrated with supplier system. As the customer entering the specification, the same detail should be provided to the supplier system immediately, and they must respond quickly, and that information should be passed towards customer. Real time basis, real time mean at the moment. Second, we are allowing the customer payment through credit card only. This means we are not providing flexibility for payment to the customer. We'll be losing customer who does not have credit card. So we should allow payment through debit card facility as well as cash on delivery option so that we can attract so many customers. Third issue. What was third issue? Payment detail. We are obtaining too late. And if the credit check is not passed, ultimately the time behind checking the delivery cost, replying to the customer, that time and cost we are losing. That cost could be high because inquiries could be more. So we should obtain payment detail from the customer at the very first step where he is entering the specification. So that along with delivery, availability of product, we should also perform the credit check. Number 4, supplier sending computers to Green Tech and Green Tech after testing delivering to the customer. This means there is a double delivery, not only time, cost is also there. And for testing, we are bearing staff cost as well. So what should be the recommendation? We should sign a contract with the supplier. He should test the product before delivery and deliver directly to the customer. For this might be he will charge something extra, but that will be lesser than our so much cost saved. And fifth issue, we are delivering product to the customer late. We are not meeting our promised delivery date. This could create contractual obligation problem for our business. So we should sign a contract with the customer, with the supplier. In case of future late delivery, he will be entitled to pay our damages. There is one more requirement left in the question. The board is determined to link strategy with current and future processes. Now board is thinking while preparing strategy, we should look at the process system. Analyze the relationship between process design and strategic planning. Using the context of Green Tech to illustrate your analysis. And this is the most difficult requirement that I have ever encountered in this page. In fact, this was my attempt of ACCA. I couldn't understand this requirement and I left blank. I passed. I passed. But while sitting in the exam, I couldn't understand. So the board is determined to link strategy with current and future processes. Mean now they are thinking while preparing strategy for the business, we will consider our business processes. We will put more focus on our processes, where we are lacking, how we can improve that. Analyze the relationship between process design and strategic planning. Using the context of Green Tech to illustrate your analysis. We need to analyze the relationship between strategic planning and process design. Strategic planning, this word have we seen somewhere? Have we studied this word somewhere?
Well,
Strategic planning?
yeah.
Yeah. Where?
Sometimes
Business strategy, how to deal with competition. We can deal with competition through a process called strategic process, also called strategic planning, which involves three interrelated sub-processes: strategic analysis, strategic choice, and strategic implementation. Now the things are easier. What is the relationship between strategic analysis and process? While analyzing internal factors to highlight strength weaknesses, we look at the processes mean value chain of the business. What are the strong processes mean strong activities? What are the weak processes mean weak activities? While choosing or selecting any of the strategy, we select those strategies who are aligned with our business processes or who help to improve weaknesses in business processes. While implementing strategies, we make changes where? In business processes, so that we should overcome the weaknesses in processes so that we can achieve our business objective in better way by overcoming weaknesses in processes. Mean, what is the link of process with the strategic planning? Mean, we need to explain what is the link of process with strategic analysis, with strategic choice, and with strategic implementation. In analysis, we find weaknesses, especially in internal analysis, where in processes mean activities of the business. Because if they are not designed properly, there are weaknesses. While choosing strategy, we look at those options that help to overcome weaknesses in business processes. And while implementing, we make changes where? In business processes, so that we can overcome the weaknesses to make our position stronger. Without using these three headings, we cannot explain the relationship between strategic planning and process design. This is difficult requirement to tackle. But if you have put these three headings in the exam paper, oh, examiner will be happy. Yes. Now he got some idea. He will provide you marks even without reading. Because you got some idea what is strategic planning. Is strategic analysis, strategic choice, strategic implementation. What's the link? We can write down 1-2 lines. There is no issue. Analysis, while analyzing factors, especially internal, we are looking at what? Process design. Where we are lacking, we are highlighting. Choice, we are adopting that strategy that help to overcome weakness in process. And implementing, we are making changes where? In process to overcome the weaknesses so that we can move towards better position. So that's it for today. In next lecture, we'll discuss something new. We have covered streamline diagram today. One question. We have covered management of change models of 4. Covered one question, Shoal PLC. And one question relating to previous week topic, contextual factor we have covered. Not contextual factors, cultural web we have covered. So try to attempt these questions before moving to next class. Whatever happened in the past happened. At least now onward, we should practice question along with each class. And it's better if you practice the very next day of the class. Because the more gap between class and your attempting question, the knowledge will be weakening. You'll be skipping some of the points. That's it from Now, if you have attempted previous questions, you can show me. Just